Golf Smarter number 698. Stay tuned after the interview to hear if you're one of 5 winners of the newest tool to preserve the life of your gloves, Glove Last, courtesy of glovelast.com. Swing like a pro in just 10 minutes using S.U.R.F. Let's go surfing with Randy Chang.
This is Golf Smarter, sharing stories, tips, and insights from great golf minds to help you lower your score and raise your golf IQ. Here's your host, Fred Green.
Welcome to the Golf Smarter podcast, Randy.
Hello, Fred.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on your show.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Or should I say aloha?
Aloha to you as well.
So you live in
hello and goodbye.
Yeah, right. Well, we'll say aloha later too. But so you're originally from Hawaii, but your teaching, primary teaching now is done in Southern California.
Yeah, I started my first school in Hawaii in 2000, and from there I came up here to open my second school, and it's just kind of sprouted from there.
Mm-hmm. And how many schools do you have going now?
So right now our programs are in, 6 facilities right now in Southern California, with 2 full service from juniors all the way to adults, corporate golf schools in 2 facilities. The main one being at Journey at Pechanga in Temecula, California, and then Talega Golf Club here in San Clemente, where I live.
I see. Okay. And the thing that captivated me about your stuff, and I've seen you now on Revolution Golf and the Golf Channel, and you're really good at communicating what you're doing, but you have a unique approach. And of all the interviews I've ever done with golf instructors, I've never heard anybody put it the way you have. And it's so perfect because you are from Hawaii that your teaching method you call S.U.R.F.
Yeah, it kind of worked out really good, actually, where if I'm not golfing, I'm in the water surfing. I grew up in Hawaii surfing, and it's just been a great, sport and activity to just maintain, my health. And it's just, when I'm in the water, I just feel real good. So it turned out to be a neat little acronym, which stands for simplicity, and I kind of slash safety. Simplicity, safety, and I'll elaborate on that in a little bit. Understanding, retention, and then the most important, fun. Because if you're not having fun doing any of this, then none of the other things matter. But it turned out to be a really neat little acronym, since we're actually, I just got from our surf and turf camp, where we have this camp that goes on all summer, Monday through Friday, with the juniors, and they surf in the morning at the surf camp, and they get bused here to Talega, have a nice lunch at our clubhouse, and then golf in the afternoon. And they do that all week, and it's just a blast. So, that has worked out good for our kind of our theme, if you will, our mantra here at our golf schools, to maintain simplicity and safety, and the rest of it of making sure they understand what we're saying, and then somehow getting them to retain that information while having fun. So it works out really good.
Oh, great! I want to break it down even deeper than that, because I think this is a really great approach, and I think a lot of people will take advantage of it and really find it useful. But I got to tell you, I'm so excited that the F was for fun, because everybody knows what that F for is in golf.
I know what you mean, but
because
we do a lot of
right, because the 4-letter word was taken and we had to call it golf, right?
Yes, I'm sure you've heard all of the fun jokes about that.
Oh yeah,
what's a 4-letter word? Yeah,
right.
And we have to keep it. We deal with juniors, so we got to keep it G-rated.
There you go.
I could do other things with that acronym as well.
I'm sure you can. All right, let's start with the simplicity part. Golf is really simple when you're really good at it, and it works. But so many people find it incredibly difficult and frustrating. to hit a ball that's not moving.
Yes, and that's what we do a really great job at. We have one of our main programs we have at all of our schools is called Tiny Tees, and I've probably made most of my living teaching the ages from 3 to 6 years of age. And we started this program back in my first school, going to preschools, around the area. And there was no books, there were no, manuals back in those days that how to deal with a 3-year-old. But we were able to do so and simplified, our type of teaching, the way we communicate, to the 3-year-old, which turns out to be, one of the easiest things that we do. And that's our main goal, is to get rid of that fallacy that it is hard to hit a golf ball, an object that's not moving. The problem is with that is, like, people think that this is about hand-eye coordination. That's the first part why it's hard, why it's challenging, is that people come here and they think, oh, I haven't played in any sports, I don't have good hand-eye coordination. We show them it's not about hand-eye coordination. I show people like closing my eyes or just making a swing and not looking at the golf ball. And the first thing that you're taught is just that. Don't take your eyes off the golf ball. And that's what kind of gets everybody all enthused, and we get their attention. So these young little 3-year-olds that are just starting to develop their hand-eye coordination, it's more like learning a little dance step and, getting the club back on a backswing and then swinging to a follow-through and literally having the ball get in the way of the motion. So once we get their minds in the right place, it is very simple. I mean, what you just stated earlier, where it's simple when you do it good. When it's effective. So the ball doesn't move. All we have to do is replace the club back to where we first started from, and that's not done through hand-eye coordination. That's just done through. It's as simple as if we do our L to L swing, which is our main. This is how we teach our swing to a 3-year-old all the way to, a senior, is by the alphabets, because that's all a 3-year-old knows. If you can do the alphabets, we can get you to hit a golf ball in a very short period of time. So the only thing we tell our kids or our students when they first get started playing the game, to show them it's not that hard. We get them set up in a Y that's formed by the arms in the club, a capital letter Y. We take it back and we go to an L formed by, if you're right-handed anyways, your left arm or your lead arm, that left arm where everyone says, you got to keep your left arm straight. Well, just make an L with that left arm. When you hinge your wrists, the club is the side of the L, and that's it. Then you have them swing to the other side of the swing, to your follow-through backwards L. We do a real fun we call it a little tippy-toe finish that a 3-year-old can know. And we tell them it's more like just doing a little dance step and just get to those two positions. And then we kind of throw stuff in the way, and all of a sudden they hit it without trying to hit it, and it just changes their whole mindset. So that's kind of the simplicity part of it.
Interesting. So you say it's easy to teach to a 3-year-old and up, but when you have somebody who's in their, let's say, late 40s, early 50s, and they're just starting to play golf. The kids have finally moved out of the house. Their job is not as demanding as it has been for the last 25 years. And they're like, I've always wanted to play golf. Or there's so many stories of the people who I haven't played in 18 years because my wife and my life and my kids and, everything is so demanding and I want to get back to it. So they're a little more analytical than a 3-year-old.
Absolutely. That's why it's more challenging. That's why I love working with the juniors.
The 3-year-olds. But at that point, it's not simple, right?
Yeah, we make it harder. That's the whole thing. So we make it harder on ourselves. Yes, we're going to analyze everything. So I don't know if your audience might be familiar with the dog whisperer. Anybody loves pets?
Sure.
Everybody's seen Caesar go into a household, take a dog that they cannot control, and totally change them in literally that one episode. In 15 to 30 minutes, and that's literally what we do. We're kind of like the golf whisperers. Once you get yourself in the right state of mind, this is easy. I mean, if you can, we talk about it more like a dance step, and then I get people to say, "Well, I can't dance." Well, I say, "Well, can you do the hokey pokey?" We all did the hokey pokey, right?
Well, that's what it's all about.
That's
sorry.
Good, Fred.
Yeah, you set me up, man. I'm sorry.
Resist that.
No,
I know. No. That was great. But it's pretty funny with today's generations. When I ask them about, they don't do the hokey pokey anymore. In
the Macarena.
It's sad. It's really sad. But anyways, when you talk about that generation you're talking about, they all have done the hokey pokey, so they can relate to that. So if you can at least do the hokey pokey, or I tell them, like, everyone's yoga is the big thing right now, right? Especially for the women. And by the way, yoga is great, for longevity and health and everything. Anyway, so I put it in those type of terms, saying, look, this is like learning 2 yoga poses. And when I show them a little 3-year-old says, you're coordinated enough to form a Y, or we'll get a little bit more analytical and say it's a triangle with your arms and your shoulders. That's kind of your measuring stick back to the golf ball. And, you've been on this for a long time, and probably the most common things that people struggle with as far as the whole coming over the top, outside in, chicken winging, arm swinging, that everyone says, well, I just can't seem to do it like the pros do it. Mm-hmm. And when I come in and show them, like, hey, I can get you to swing like a golf professional in 10 minutes, that's where we get the wow factor. And all I do is like Caesar is change their mental attitude. So I hate to compare, the human being with dogs, but the whole process is really the same. When you have a pet, a dog that barks at the mailman or whatever, he's been stimulated by something, which is, say, the mailman comes in. As soon as he sees the mailman, he's going to bark. So that's what stirs on his barking. And when a person gets over a golf ball, that's like the stimulus to say, okay, now I'm going to hit you. And then these are all just natural things that your body does, but it's wrong to what a good golf swing is all about. So once the dog sees the mailman, Caesar goes in and it does that, changes it. Wait a minute, get out of that mindset. And here's how I want you to behave, or here's what I want you to do. And that's kind of the same thing I do in the golf swing. So as soon as that person wants to get up there and sees the ball and he wants to hit it, he or she is going to do all the wrong things that we're trying to teach people not to do. Because doing a golf swing is not hard. It's pretty simple. And I show them that, using technology, and that's where technology has come a long way, where when I had to show somebody what they think they look like and what they look like in reality, when I could compare that, back in the days when, all right, I got to take my VHS camera that was about 10 pounds, get it out there, take a video of them, take them back into the pro shop, put it on the thing, and everything was blurry and you couldn't do it. Then it was just such a hard thing. Now you have this equipment that you can show them right there, and you can compare them, and the process is so much faster than it was, 30 years ago.
And 240 frames a second of video to slow it down so it's crystal clear on your phone.
You remember those days where you had to use a toggle? I remember having to use this toggle on a special VHS, kind of thing to try to slow the swings down. Now it's crazy now. So that has definitely helped with the acceleration of learning, so the people can see what they're doing. Because as the hard part about the instruction and teaching is feel and real. what they feel like they're doing and what they're really doing, and it's hard to get them out of that. So that's how I show them. That's how I use technology. So it's interesting. It's like when you see someone do a practice swing, you tell them, here's what you want to make a nice little practice swing. It looks beautiful. Put them on the video. Oh, there it is. And then when they get to the ball, it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And it's like, wait a minute, what happened to that beautiful swing that you just showed me without a golf ball? So, it's the thing we do different here is 100% mental. The physical part of making a good golf swing, that's easy. That's simple. But getting over a golf ball and trying to hit it, your whole mindset changes. I just did actually an article that's coming out about that, about the 3 different states of mind that you're in when you try to hit a golf ball. And I'm using this to help with other teachers and coaches out there to try to get, why can you you can get them to do what you want them to do without a golf ball. And then as soon as the golf ball gets in there, they can't do it. They literally they can't do it. And it's just how the mindset changes, and that's kind of what I talk about, like the dog whisperer. So I can get into that if you'd like.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to say that first of all, I'm a huge advocate of yoga for golfers. Have been since we started this. I think that you're right. It's very, very helpful.
Yeah.
But a golf swing is simple, but hitting a golf ball well isn't. I mean, the swing is simple. We're all scratch golfers when we're practicing a swing,
right?
But you're saying it's 100% mental on stepping up to the ball.
It's 100% mental. Wow. Dr. Joe Parent, who's a sports psychologist,
and been on this show at least a dozen times.
Oh, great!
And he was episode number 1, by the way.
Was he really?
Yeah,
that's awesome. So, anyways, I learned from him. I've learned from everybody actually, and he stated, he asked that age-old question, how much is it physical, how much is it mental, and everybody gives their opinions on what it is, 70% mental, whatever. He said, well, here's what it is. It's 90% mental and it's 10% mental. And everybody kind of gets a chuckle. He goes, people, it's 100% mental because your mind controls what your body does. So it's how you think that allows it to happen. And that's why we kind of get through these three different mindsets on where you're at when you hit a golf ball. So when you're talking about hitting a golf ball well, who hits the golf ball well and consistent? The people we see on tour, right? All the people we see on tour have a handful of things that they all do the same. What we do is like, what does a Jim Furyk, a John Daly, a Tiger Woods, a Arnold Palmer, a Jordan Spieth have in common in their golf swings? And when we're breaking all this stuff down, there is a handful of things they all do the same. And that's what we consider our foundation, which happens to be our L to L swing. There's an L to L swing in every good golf swing. And that's kind of how we go about doing it. So the physical side of it is not hard. Like I said, I'll show you on the video how I can make you look like Tiger Woods or whoever within, say 9 to 3 of any golf swing. Great example. Just got done, watching Matthew Wolff this last weekend, and everyone goes, "Oh, that's such an odd swing." It's a great golf swing. I mean, it has. It was great. They showed Colin Morikawa, who's all Southern California junior golfers that came from our programs here, showed them their swings side by side, and from the shoulder up, on their back swings and even possibly a little bit on their follow throughs, they look different. But from, the waist high through the hitting area, they're identical, as what they look like and how they're swinging through a golf ball. So, that's kind of the basis of why you could hit the ball more consistently if understanding just those basic stuff. But people can't do that basic thing because their mindset changes when they want to hit at a golf ball. So that's kind of where we talk about this whole mental part. If you can look anything like, these guys that we see on tour, and I do this every single day, and there's only 10% of the people that play the game of golf in the world that actually do it the way we see on TV. And it's interesting where I see the age group that you're talking about that come in, that maybe have played before. They come into to my new student assessment. They say, "Yeah, I want to try to play, but you're not going to make me swing like Tiger Woods, are you?" And I go, "Well, if I could make you swing if I could get you to swing like Tiger Woods in 10 minutes, wouldn't you want to?" So that's the whole thing. The game, as you know, is about compensations, and you don't have to do everything like you see the tour people do, but that's why there's no consistency in your typical amateur. The people that are listening, that they go, why can I hit that one super good, but all the other ones, it's either really good or really bad. That's the mantra of your typical average golfer, probably listening along. And the reason is because there's more they have more compensations than a scratch handicap. I see a 3 handicap or better on tour, which is probably only maybe 10% is maybe even too generous of a number there. But everybody looks like what I see every day. 9 out of 10 people that come to me for an initial student assessment with the same thing, I want to be more consistent, is one of the main things. I can hit the ball. I can hit the ball, but it's just not consistent. It's either really good or really bad. Well, it's because you have all these compensations. So this is one thing, one sport, and one of those things in life that 2 wrongs make a right. Where if you're not doing something right, all you got to do is figure out the other wrong thing on the other side of the swing to compensate, and it turns it into a right. And you can't be consistent with that. So anyways, I can go on and on and on with that part of it. So
well, we'll give you a chance because I'm going to have you back because we clearly have a lot to talk about. But for right now, I'm going to take a quick time out. We'll be right back. Randy, I have, I don't know if, I don't want to say I have issue with what you're saying, but there's something that's been bugging me lately, and you're kind of leading me into it. We talk about, I can make you hit like Tiger Woods. I'm going to show you video of Tiger or Jordan or Brooks, and we'll get you to swing like that. Well, yes. Those guys do that 60 to 80 hours a week. If they tried to do what we do for our livings, they couldn't do it either. And there's nobody around there going, come on, I'll teach you how to be a video editor in 10 minutes. It's like, I'm going to teach you how to run a company just because you've been inside of our building. It's kind of weird. And this is, yes. I'm going to be a heretic here. This has occurred to me lately. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to swear for the first time in this show. I've never done this, but I'm getting the feeling that consistency is bullshit. Everybody wants consistency. And yet, yes, when you watch golf on television with the best players in the world, they don't do it perfectly every time. They have to hit from the rough. They have to hit from the opposite fairway when their ball goes astray, right? It's more about, and I think it's more about managing your game than just hitting the ball perfectly every time, because that's impossible. And I think that we keep asking for consistency, but there's no such thing in golf, from my perspective right now. And please tell me I'm wrong. But I think it's also a way, and I'm not slamming you or anybody I've ever talked to, but I think it's a great way to make sure that people come back for lessons by saying, yes, we can give you consistency. But everybody sucks at golf.
Yes, including but my sucking is better than somebody else's sucking. Right?
No question. And the pros make less mistakes than we do, but they manage their game better than we do too.
Absolutely. So, you made a great point, and I know that everyone listening has that same thing. And you're absolutely right. You can swear because you're right. And so
Sorry.
I have to
I apologize to
clarify
anybody whose kids just said, "What do you say?"
I have to clarify when they say, I want more consistency, and I'm trying to tell them, what does that mean to you, consistency? So here's the whole thing about golf. Everyone's trying to hit that one shot that feels in the middle of the club face and it goes straight and far and everything. And no one's ever going to perfect that as you see on tour. The difference is just the variance. Golf is not how good you hit a golf ball. Good golf is how good you miss it. So the better your mechanics are, the better misses you're going to be. So that's always kind of, I didn't probably maybe finish my last thing is like, when you're good, when the guy's on tour, when they're good, they're good. When they're bad, yeah, they're in the rough. They're in that kind of stuff. When instead of being in the right rough, left rough, or what have you, your typical amateur is out of bounds. If they're 10 feet in front of them, they are that kind of thing. So the consistency we talk about is like, if you're not going to hit it good, then let's have your misses better. So that's something that we also need to clarify. The next thing is that you mentioned is, yes, I mean, how to manage your game. But first, you got to have a game to manage. You got to be able to hit a golf ball that at least if you miss it, it's still out there. We see it all the time on tour. You see them, you hit these guys, they hit a shot. They throw the club down like they went out of bounds, right? And it lands again 30, 40, you see the disgust in them, right? And everyone's going, what are you? I mean, they hit a bad shot for them, right? And that's the difference. Now, their mishits are better because their mechanics are better. In other words, they look like, so if I can make you look like this thing, your mishits, you're going to have a better chance to miss it good than the person that doesn't. So that's something that we need to clarify with your statement there. Is consistency, meaning when people say consistent, they want to hit that middle of the club. I said, no one does. Nobody does. I remember Jack Nicklaus saying, when asked the question, how many perfect shots do you hit around? He goes, on a good day, 3 to 5. And there was what? A perfect shot to Jack Nicklaus is, exactly in the middle club face, great distance, trajectory, everything, right? And when he's playing good, that's how many good shots he hits around. So that means the other 50 shots are good miss hits. But your typical amateur looking at this would think those are all perfect shots to them. Mm-hmm. So, when we're working with your typical amateur, if they can just hit it on the club face, get it in the air, in the general vicinity, that would be generally a good shot. So I think that's something to kind of clarify with kind of what you said. So we can get them to do very quick. We can get them to be more consistent on bringing the club head back to the golf ball. Is it going to hit the middle club face all the time? No, but you're going to hit it. We can get that ball up in the air 8 out of 10 times. And if you don't, you know why, and you know how to fix it. So now you can manage your golf swing and your game a little bit better than the person that has no clue. In other words, the problem with this game and teaching it is the diagnosis aspect of it. When I ask someone why did they top that golf ball, and they think, because
I lifted my head.
Lifted my head up, right? And so what do? They keep that head down even more, right? And that's not why they're topping it. So it's like going to the doctors. And the 90% of people that are out there that come to me, they don't know why they actually hit that shot. And there's just one overall reason. One reason is because you took your eyes off the ball and your head came up. That's all I know I got to work on. And that has ruined probably more swing than has helped in the history of the game. And that's where things have changed. So, the whole ad is keep your head down, keep your eye on the ball. And that's all we had. That's all we got. And that's all people have. And now we're adding all this other stuff. We're adding, power comes from the ground now. Start jumping. There's all kinds of things now. Look at what Matthew Willis is doing. Like Jim Furyk is a good thing now. And so we're trying all these kind of stuff. And everyone is confused. So we're going back to the number one, the S, simplicity. The other part, safety. That's where the safety got brought in. Tiger Woods, Natalie Golbis. I mean, I'll go on and on and on. All these people that have had back problems back in the days, why the seniors couldn't get it to the seniors stage because they have all back problems and rotator cuff problems. And it has to do, again, with the whole keep your head still, keep your head down, keep your spine angle intact. All those things we have found out. I mean, that's not wrong things. I mean, you do try to do those things, but in our attempts to do those things, we're hurting our bodies. And that's another big thing for us here is like, now that we're teaching 3-year-olds, we want to make sure the equipment is right. We want to make sure they are not keeping their head down and putting stress on their lower backs. So I don't know, maybe that's another show. But
yeah.
You said this is my soapbox. So as you can see, I've got a pretty big soapbox, and there's certain things that I'm really passionate about and animated when it comes to how we are teaching and coaching, especially these young kids. So anyways, I don't know if that helped you with your question about consistency, but the consistency for us is just having a consistent motion that you can manage, and then being able to adjust depending on what your ball is doing or not doing. And that does not take a long time. Now, if you want to be at a level like a Jordan Spieth, yeah, you have to do this a bunch. But I can get somebody, and again, going back to the mental part of it, this sport is not like others where you have to do all the reps because you're reacting. So baseball, tennis, hockey, you spend all those repetitions and all those hours doing the repetitions because you don't have time to think. In golf, you're not reacting to anything. As you said, the ball does not move. I'm not reacting to anything. All I got to do is control what my body does. So this is actually one sport you can actually think yourself through. The 3 states of mind, I'll go through this real quick before I run out of time. The first state of mind is what I call hit ball mode. And that's where everybody is. Keep your eye on the ball, keep your head down, and focus everything on the golf ball. And when we do that, we haven't had a whole lot of success over the history of this game.
You said it was ball mode? I'm sorry, I kind of broke up a little bit. Ball mode.
Hit the ball mode, yeah.
Hit the ball
mode.
Okay.
Everything is focused on what's down there. I'm just trying to hit something down there. The second state of mind is what I call target mode. Harvey Penick, take dead aim. All your mind is focused on is where you want your ball to go, or as at the level of the players that you see on tours, literally their shot patterns. That shot tracers thing has been great for the game. It's a great way for people to visualize how these golf balls are going. And that's what literally the guys on tour are doing. You watch a Jason Day closing his eyes. What is he doing? He's visualizing what his shot is doing, okay? And where he wants his ball to end, he's just visualizing his hit because he's done all the reps. He spent all those hours and hours and hours. So to be able to play in that state of mind, you have to put all the times into it. The third state of mind that not too many people are familiar with is what we call swing mode. And that's where you're just making a swing. Ball gets in the way of the motion. There's no target you're worried about. You're not worried about hitting a golf ball. So I can control my body on where I want to be on the backswing, however I want. However, if it's a Matt Wolff backswing, it's a John Daly backswing, if it's a Tony Finau backswing, I can get anybody to get to those positions if they're focusing on that position, right? And then I can get you to another yoga position. And then through a little bit of practice, you'll get some coordination on how to get to those 2 positions. Ball's getting in the way of the motion. So if you teach them how to be in this state of mind, you can play this game at an easy recreation level. And that's kind of what, we're talking about here. And that's what we specialize in. So we get them into swing mode. It's amazing. If you guys watch our 3-year-olds, 3, 4, 5-year-olds, watch our beginning women that come in, that never played the game before. And after one lesson, you're looking down the range and like, wow, that looks like a really good golf swing in that one short period of time. So, that's why we've been successful. That's why we're in a bunch of facilities, and why we're getting people to get attracted to the game.
Well, congratulations. That's pretty awesome that you're able to do that. I'm just really happy for you that you're connecting with people and they're getting better. And they're getting consistent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Well, listen, we didn't get to cover all of S.U.R.F. Today, and so we are definitely going to bring you back because, we got the simplicity and safety. I think the understanding, you kind of folded into all of that.
Yeah.
It's the retention part that I'm ready to spend another half hour with you on.
Right. And that's a key deal.
Yeah.
That's a key deal right there.
Absolutely.
Retention.
How do people get in touch with you and find out more about your school?
Well, you can go to randychangpga.com is my website. Also, my email address is randychang@pga.com, so it's pretty simple. You can also just Google Randy Chang PGA and there's everything about what we do, our schools, videos from what we did on Golf Channel, pretty much that. So that's pretty simple.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to bringing you back on. This has been a lot of fun, and I really appreciate your time.
Well, thanks, Fred.
Thanks, Randy. Hey, since your responses have been incredibly positive, I'm going to share this offer again, but beware because this offer is going to expire on August 1, 2019, just as we publish episode number 700. So this is an offer for a free online version of the Tony Manzoni video, The Lost Fundamental. If you've been listening for a while, then you know how I feel about Tony, who passed away last year. But based on your response to our offer for the video and the sales of his book, which is only being talked about on Golf Smarter, I don't know if Tony was promoted anywhere else. He didn't have a website. He didn't go on other podcasts. I think we're the only people that talked about him. And I know you agree with me that he was not just a great teacher and an incredible communicator, but he was a first-class gentleman, and we loved him for that. Actually, his birthday is July 21st, so I'm thinking about him a lot. Anyway, if you'd like to take advantage of this offer, here's all you need to do. Submit an honest review for either Golf Smarter or Golf Smarter Mulligans from wherever you subscribe to the show. Once you've posted your review, then email me a copy and tell me where you published it. Once I see it online, I'll send you the link absolutely free with my compliments and gratitude. And speaking of things for free that'll improve your golf life, it's time to announce the winners of a great new tool to preserve the life of your golf gloves. Glove Last, with the Golf Smarter logo and a carabiner to hang it on your bag, is going to be given away to 5 lucky winners this time. And I want to thank Glove Last for their generosity and remind you to check them out. They're at glovelast.com. This is really fun because I've never done 5 winners at once, so here we go. Congratulations, Howard Shaw of University City, Missouri, Teddy Biagioni from Pewaukee, Wisconsin, Alex Pedrasoff, Tempe, Arizona, Don Eskin, Sharon, Massachusetts, and Edward Quack of Mission Viejo, California. Now, you guys, keep an eye on your snail mailbox to receive your Glove Last, courtesy of glovelast.com. Our next giveaway, we're not done. We're going to do this one again because you loved it, and we got a great response to it. It's simple, but anybody who's going to turn away a $100 Amazon gift card, don't do that. Your chances of winning are pretty good on this show. A $100 Amazon gift card, courtesy of autoslash.com, and the winner will be announced on episode 700, and the deadline to enter is July 28, 2019. And for the next couple of weeks on Golf Smarter Mulligans, we're going to focus on the longest 6 inches in golf, the space between your ears, and why so many people, instructors, golfers, and people who know nothing about it say that golf is 90% mental and 10% technique. Maybe true, maybe not. But this week we're going to meet Dr. Robert K. Winters, author of the No-Nonsense Strategy for Mastering Your Mental Game, in a book called The 10 Commandments of Mind Power Golf. Get your free subscription to Golf Smarter and Golf Smarter Mulligans. They're 2 different shows, and you can find them wherever you get your favorite podcasts, including on YouTube. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and of course, Apple Podcasts. Golf Smarter Mulligans is supported by Autoslash.com and TwoGuysWithGolfBalls.com. Speaking of YouTube, let me just say for a moment that now that every one of our episodes, for both shows, are also published to our youtube.com/GolfSmarterTV channel. It's Golf Smarter TV. I see that there's a specific benefit it offers that many of you are taking advantage of, and I'd really want to encourage more to do it. I really like this part. I've never even thought that this was possible, but what a great place to do it on YouTube. And that's allowing you to make comments and reviews for individual episodes. It's not about the show, and that's not what I'm asking about for the free video. I'm asking for a review of the show. This is if you have a comment about a show that you just heard, and it's on YouTube, which the new ones are. And you could just say, good show, bad show, didn't agree with that, loved what he had to say, I'm going to go take that on the course, whatever you'd like to say, but you can make comments on it. And each week I'm getting notices from YouTube where I can respond or just give you a thumbs up, and I do. So if you have something to say about a specific Golf Smarter episode or a Golf Smarter Mulligans episode, share it with me and everyone else by listening and commenting at youtube.com/GolfSmarterTV. Or, of course, you can get there on our homepage at golfsmarter.com.